there. Welcome to the Maple City Minute. We're here with Josh Snyder. He is our Public Works Director. Also, I call you our City Engineer. What is your correct title and what do you do?
Yeah, Public Works Director would be correct. And so functions of my job are to supervise the water department, wastewater department, general service department, and the zoning department. So covers a lot of what most residents see maintenance-wise throughout the city. And then on top of the management, or in addition to the management, there's also project management and administration, which I perform out of the city building downtown. And that involves seeing projects from basically cradle to grave. Would be the inception, the idea of a project, the funding for it, acquiring funding for a certain project, and then from there into construction, selecting inspectors, contractors, and then like we are today, seeing some of a finished product of a large project here, but seeing a project to its completion and final payments. Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of the project that we're visiting right now, can you explain what we're at, where we're standing?
Yeah, certainly. We're at Pleasant Street, JC Park, and we're actually standing on a 500,000 gallon overflow basin that in and of itself, this object cost about $1 million, but the entire project is a lift station replacement and some of the related sewers coming into and out of this lift station. What everyone driving by gets to see now is as things are coming to a close on the sewer project side of it, is the park being restored, which was effectively obliterated with this project.
Right. Okay, so why the need for a lift station? And
Sure.
why here?
Yeah, so this area off of Pleasant Street, we're adjacent to Norwalk Creek, and as many residents know, Norwalk Creek somewhat bisects the town, and that makes the creek area a relative low spot, which is key for conveying sewers and carrying sewers from one side of town to the other. So although the south side of town is higher in elevation than where we are now, the sewage comes to this area as it is a relative low area, and from here gets pumped via the pump station northward toward the wastewater plant, which is near Walmart on Oste Schadel there. So yeah, the need for a lift station, otherwise following the natural contours of the city, the sewer will go to the low spot, and that's where we're at. Yeah. So it needs to get pumped away from here, and that's what effectively what the lift station does from here and carries it northward. So this project specifically doubles the pumping capacity we had, taking twice as much from this area northward to the wastewater plant. So that's the need and why here.
How many lift stations do we have in Norwalk?
Yeah, that's a good question. We have a handful of them, and I can probably name you the locations and rather than shooting you a number, but we have, I would say, about 8 lift stations throughout town. Some subdivisions have their own lift stations. Woodridge Estates has its own. There's one in Bennett Point. There's another one for West Wind Drive has its own. So again, it's really dependent on each subdivisions, each property's elevation and how they sit, whether they can attain fall to get sewer away from a site. So again, on this instance of Pleasant Street, effectively everything south of the creek, including the schools, Norwood Avenue, the hospital, all their sewage comes to this point and gets conveyed from here. So.
Okay, so aside from the functionality of the place, you did mention that this is also a park. This is JC's Bicentennial Park, That's going to be completely revamped, and you're going to give this whole place a facelift. What's in the works there?
Yeah, several things. So the planning that went behind the park was several conversations with myself and Parks Director Joe Lindenberger and Safety Service Director Dan Wendt. Was, I always tossed it as, hey, don't think of this as destroying a park, but rather an opportunity to make this park what it should be. Can you play off of the creek as an amenity, as a natural amenity? Make something that fits, make something that we don't have in other park systems. So with my challenge to Joe and Dan came up with kind of what you're seeing take shape here now. Some passive park space. There's some grassy areas and soon to be shady areas.
Which we could use today.
For
now.
It'd be great. For picnicking, and then of course, the staples of some playground area and a shelter. The shelter's erected. The roofing is yet to be put on it. Likely to happen early next week. And then the playground is going to be a nice one. We don't have anything to compare it with today. It's about 30 feet by 50 feet in dimensions, and we'll have a rubberized surface underneath it. And that was the beauty of being able to put it on what was formerly a tennis court, is the pour and play surface. Formerly, the playground area was roughly 100 feet west of where we're standing, and it was notorious for flooding out. One, because it was in a kind of a pocket area of this park. Secondly, is being adjacent to the creek. Every time the creek came out of the banks, the mulch washed away. So being sensitive of those things, pushed the park back away from the creek a bit, and instead of putting mulch under it, there's going to be the rubberized pour and play, similar to the playground set at the rec center near the pool.
Okay.
There. So yeah.
I know it takes some time to build playgrounds, but when do you think that this will be open and available to the public again?
Yeah, so right now the bulk of the park work remaining, it rests in the hands of general service. And so a couple of items that are left to complete the park is the surfacing of the courts. There will be one tennis court and two pickleball courts. The posts are in place, the nets have been purchased, and we have those on hand. It's the sealing of the asphalt surface needs to be sealed. The courts need to be striped. The playground needs to be installed. There's a swing set that will go between the restroom and the pavilion, and there's also a climbing net with climbing walls as supports on the sides of it. So that's a feature we don't have at any other park. And other than that, there's minor landscape items for general service to do, and other than that, this park will be ready to go. So again, in the next couple weeks, there's going to be a lot more activity here, a lot of more city activity here, city staff doing work here, and progress. Grass is going to be coming up, I believe, next week, and it's really taking shape. So I would anticipate close to July 4th for an opening, at least a soft opening, as things are coming together.
That's really, really exciting, and we appreciate you taking time out of your day to talk to us about this project.
Sure.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Your chin on, boy. Only one will away from. Pray away your troubles and pray away the pain. Pray away everything that's been down, son. When you look on, I'll be smiling down on you. And when you look back, I'll be smiling back at you. But that'll get with my beer. And now I know sometimes when I feel like life is empty, oh, I know you're listening for. That's why you came, that's why you came, and I can see so clearly now. That's why you came, that's why you came for me. So lately I've been thinking about the sweetest things, the sweetest things. So lately I've been thinking about the sweetest things, the sweetest things. So lately I've been thinking ba-dum, 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 da-dum.
Erich Metzger, ABS Communications. Welcome to the Maple City Minute.
Thank you.
How
Good
you
to be here.
How you doing?
We're doing well.
Good, good. So let's get right to it. ABS. What's that stand for?
Well, ABS started out as my three children's name. It's Alden, Brennan, Skyley. To the business world, we tell them it's Advanced Business Solutions, but the hidden reason of it is the three initials of my kids. So.
Right. Nice, nice. So when did you first go into business?
We started business a little under 3 years ago. I was working for a solution provider very similar to what I'm doing right now. They were very eager for me to move to a larger market in Chicago. We love Norwalk. We don't want to leave Norwalk, never did. So we decided to pass on the opportunity. Within a couple of days, my customers were and AT&T account managers were kind of calling me frantically, what are we going to do now? The funny story behind it is a good friend of mine and one of my business partners in ABS, Brenton Grubb, he was also working for a cell phone carrier that wanted him to move to Atlanta or take a buyout. So he decided to take the buyout almost exactly the same time. We'd been friends for years. I called him up and said, hey, I have an idea. Let's get together and talk. So this idea really all formed in his extremely hot office in his upstairs house in northern Kentucky, and the rest is history. About a year prior, or a year afterwards, what we went ahead and did is we realized that wireless was a great option for us. It was what we knew, but to be a full solution provider, we had to encompass wireline as well. A gentleman I worked with for years at AT&T, Brent Bucci, probably the best wireline guy I've ever met, knows wireline, MPLS, cloud solution, security inside and out, and it was just the right fit. So the three of us got together, and now there are 3 partners within ABS Communications, and we provide a full solution for anything telecom or technology-wise, whether it's networking or on the wireless side, applications. Pretty much from start to finish.
Okay. And so you chose Norwalk as a home base because you obviously like the city, you're raising kids here.
Absolutely.
What do you think are some of the bonuses, advantages of doing business here in Norwalk rather than Chicago or Atlanta or, you know, as a base of operations? Because you do provide service throughout the country.
Yeah,
right?
we have relationships throughout the country. I spent a lot of my time in Cleveland. It's where predominantly a large sum of the account managers and customers we work with are at. From a business perspective, there aren't a lot of benefits for being in Norwalk from a technology field, and that's one of the things that I would like to see change. We're a little bit behind the times when it comes to technology as a city, and I think those are things that we could improve on and things that I'd like to get more involved with the community to improve some of those measures.
Right. Well, having people like you here in this town should help us to do that.
And I appreciate that.
For a long time, it was a bit of a desert, and now at least we've got more of an oasis kind of feel, because there are a handful of specialists here in Norwalk now that I would like to see us grow that base. Okay, so then when we're talking about a wish list for the city of Norwalk, I always love to talk to business owners and residents alike and ask basically, if you had a short wish list for things that you could see here in Norwalk, what's at the top of that list for you?
A couple of things. One would be a fiber build out throughout the whole entire city. We're predominantly a 2-carrier city, which is pretty common for a small area, but it lacks the competition that's truly needed for a small or medium-sized business in Norwalk to be successful.
Right.
Also from that stage, the residents of Norwalk could then take advantage of the faster data speeds, the more competitive pricing when it comes to fiber. I think we could use public Wi-Fi throughout the city, and that's something that can be taken care of very easily. There's actually towers in place already in Norwalk that could already sufficiently hold that need. ABS is located right across the street from the courthouse, and Huron County courts are right here. So it's not just the people of Norwalk that could take advantage of a public Wi-Fi. It's attorneys, clients that are coming into town that need a little bit of an extra internet boost. That it could definitely help them. Also, as a 2-carrier city, we're also limited by cell coverage. So where one cellular carrier might be better where that attorney's coming from, it might not work as well here in Norwalk. So that public Wi-Fi would definitely help on that as well.
Well, I remember the first time I went to Philadelphia, shortly after they got citywide Wi-Fi. Mm-hmm. And it just blew my mind that you could be anywhere because, you didn't have to go find an unsecure network and tap in just to get on.
Right.
This was before smartphones and data programs and things like that. But, pulling into Philadelphia and the entire city being Wi-Fi, and then places like Chattanooga, Tennessee,
absolutely,
that known as Gig City, because they were at the forefront of public fiber, pulling fiber and citywide coverage. Now we don't see as much of that in Ohio. Medina County actually has pulled fiber, and it's considered dark fiber. Now, I guess that's just because nobody's lit it up yet.
It's considered dark fiber in one reference, but realistically, it is actually a product that is available for consumers and businesses throughout Medina. There's also a couple of other small areas in Ohio that do have that, and that's one of the things that really can help with growth inside of a city.
Right. So, what's in store for the future of ABS? What's on the horizon, or how would you like to expand this business? I mean, you guys, for being a 3-person company, housed here in Norwalk, Ohio, you guys are killing it. You guys are expanding at a rate that it seems like the sky's the limit.
And it really is growing fast, and in some cases, it's. I hate to use these words, it's growing too fast. But we do have reps in Pittsburgh, King of Prussia, West Virginia, the Carolinas, Tampa, and Lubbock, Texas, West Texas as well. So I think for ABS, and it's actually our company meeting for our employees and our partners is actually tomorrow. So one of the things that we want to talk about is how do we solidify the plan? We pride ourselves on being a one-time shop for AT&T account managers. Well, how do we do that? How do we, we have a buyback program where customers can actually sell their old equipment via our website, or they can buy refurbished phones via our website. So they can actually go to absretail.net and actually purchase a iPhone 6s because they broke their phone and they don't have $700 to replace it. Right. Or they're switching over from Verizon and they've got these 10 phones they don't know what to do with, but they have an early termination fee. They can actually utilize our buyback program to recoup some of that money that they're going to actually pay on that early termination fee. So that's one thing we want to look at. The other thing is getting more involved with some of these customers. AT&T uses the term get deeper and wider inside accounts. You know, are you talking to the right people? And what I think our goal is to make sure that we have the resources and ability to do that. We're looking at call center options right now. We're looking at what we refer to as dialers for AT&T account managers that are kind of looking at, some of these guys have 5,000 accounts, 7,000 accounts. And it's impossible for one person to own 7,000 accounts with 28 different products. So we really want to help those account managers and how they do business. Those are some things that are really important to us right now, and operationally have a good sound ability to support all these revenue streams that we have coming in.
Nice. Well, I appreciate you being with us today, man. And this is a brand new thing, but you were one of the first that we wanted to talk to, because this is a homegrown company. And again, you guys have really expanded your horizons and your reach nationwide. We appreciate you having you here in the city of Norwalk.
Thank you very much. We really enjoy being here. We love being here in the city. They've been wonderful to us. And hopefully here in the near future, we can do some things that, you know, really can benefit the city as well. So those are some things we're working on with, you know, local businesses, trying to get involved, help them from a telecom perspective, and see what we can do for them to really improve their social media, their networking, what they're doing as a business, and how telecom can really help them as well.
Well, we love having you on the team, man. And you know, we got your back.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.